Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Today we're here to look at the new 2022 PSE Supra RTX. Now, the first thing you'll notice with the RTX is they've changed the paintwork. It's gone from a shiny red to a dull red, and they've dropped some of the colours. So, gone from shiny to mattes. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? So, the first thing I'm going to say about changing the colours is when you're choosing a colour target bow, you're often choosing colours to match your accessories. Now, all the accessories are in these shiny reds, shiny blues, so kind of going to a matte is a... Look, some people like mattes. It just doesn't make sort of sense to me when you're trying to match up stuff. Now, with these PSE Citation, it's still in the shiny blues, the shiny reds and stuff, so it depends if you want shinies or the mattes. Now, what we want to do is we want to look at how things have changed with the PSE Supra over time. The PSE Supra is one of the most popular target bows going back in time. It's popular for many reasons. One is the price point. It's below the other bows in price point. It's very successful on the target scene. Generally tends to be lighter. High performance, so there's people winning with it, and it's cheaper. Very adjustable, so it's got lots of adjustment. Now, this has been the case for a number of years. Their first one is this one here. This is their first Supra. Now, we painted the limbs, but it comes with the Hoyt Altus cam system, the hybrid cam system. So this cam system looks like a Hoyt Altus. And that's what PSE changed. They changed that. They changed from the hybrid cam system to a twin cam system. And this was the change here. So the riser itself, I'm going to say it's pretty much the same. They changed the look of the riser. They had metal limb pockets in both, but it's changed to a twin cam system with yokes. This cam remains the same today. But the one thing they changed from models was this system didn't have a limb locking system. In this system here, they've got limb lockings. So it locks onto the riser, you can see it here, it locks in. Now they've dropped that. The limb locking system exists in the Citation, but not the Supra. The Supra back in time had a flexible cable guard. Today it's a straight carbon rod, and as I understand, the Hoyt Altus, very much like the Supra from 6, 7, 8 years ago, doesn't have a flexible cable guard, but to me this is very much like the new Altus, but at a lot cheaper price point. Then the following year, PSE said, well, we need a different cam system. So they still offer the SE cam, which is still current in 2022, but they also offered the smaller cam. This is the EM cam. It's more aggressive than the SE, and these cams are still offered today in the EM and the SE cam version. Okay, so what's changed for 2022 in the Supra? Now, I've been shooting the Supra for a number of years. It's a good bow, and I seem to have owned them all. And I suppose when this first came out, I was a bit disappointed. I was expecting some sort of change, and there is. They've changed the riser design, they've changed the machining marks here. Cable guard remains unchanged. Metal limb pockets, what they've done is they made these limbs wider, so there's more space between here. This is meant to make the bow more stable to shoot. The speed on this bow is still pretty much the same as it was before, because it's the same cam systems, the same statistics. Now they've changed the yoke system. This is now standard on all the PSEs. So it's gone from a 5-piece string set to a 3-piece, and you can twist up the yokes here to change the tuning. So the PSE Supra, the one we're going to review today, is the 37-inch with the SE cams. We're going to shoot this through a chronograph. You can change the let off by moving this backwards and forwards. You can rotate the module to change the draw length. You do not need a bow press to do that. On position, A is the longest, and down the bottom, L is the shortest. The SE goes from 26.5 to 32. 7-inch brace height, 37 inches. So we're going to try this bow out. Unfortunately, I brought home the wrong poundage, but we're going to test it anyway. So this is a 50-pound bow. But largely it's unchanged from the previous years. So you've got, this is new, lower mount stabilizer, so it has a top mount stabilizer and a lower mount, so you can get in the different positions, and the same position here for the rear mount. So largely the difference between this Supra and last year's Supra, different machining, which I think looks better, wider limb pockets, they've changed the graphics, and a lower stabilizer hole. So with that, let's take a shot and see how this bow feels. Now when it comes to the different cams, the EM to the SE, it surprises me how different they are. Now I've been shooting the EM cam for 2021. I feel like I was shooting in 2020, but before that I shot the light blue bow for about a year to 2 years, and I shot the SE cam. Look, I think I prefer the SE cam. I think it's a smoother draw system. The other thing PSE changed is now their strings are always grey. So in the past they used to make matching strings to the bow, which I preferred. Now they're all the same. So the draw cycle, it feels soft at the start. Solid, solid, solid. It's coming to a valley and then it stops. So you can't really feel this bow drop into a valley. It's like peaking, 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 drops off slowly. Now this is a 50-pound bow set on 29, so we're going to take a shot. So that was a 327 grain arrow. It's a gold tip velocity, 400 spine, 90 grain point, 50-pound bow, 29 inches, 271 feet per second. This is a 390 grain VAP. This is what I shoot for target. The bow feels, so the draw feels very smooth. And when you shoot the bow, it kind of jumps out of your hand a little bit. 261, which is a pretty decent speed. The feel of the bow, it's kind of top heavy. So when you balance it like that, you can see it's top heavy. The reason it's top heavy is because you're going to fit a stabilizer to this bow to balance it up. So that way you don't need as much weight on the back. It feels very similar to the Citation in the way it actually feels to shoot. I'm going to say the 37, it feels significantly slower than the EM, significantly easier to draw than the EM cam. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot this bow at 18 meters and see how well I shoot. Okay, because this is a 50-pound bow and I've got a PSE Supra EM 50-pound for indoor, I thought, well, I'll try my indoor arrows. These are a VAT 500. They've got a 100 grain point on them, and I shot these arrows indoors. So let's see. So what sort of score I get? Oh, score, speed. .286, so 16 feet per second faster, going from a 350 to a 500 with a lighter grain point. Okay, we'll shoot 18 and see how. Okay, so I'm back at 18. Okay, so I'm back at 18 and ready to shoot. So let's hope they go in the middle. I have sewed the bow in. I've just made a sight change. I haven't checked the arrow, but I think they should go in the middle. Now, one thing about the PSE Supra, it's been out for so many years, and I've owned so many of them. I've never had a problem, touch wood, and the bow doesn't change much from year to year, and this year's no exception, except for the colour. And the colour kind of throws me. I know people prefer matte, but it kind of throws me when I have stuff that matches. So anyway, let's see how we shoot. I'm going to say that a hunting bow in a review feels better to shoot than a target bow because a hunting bow is balanced. So you're going to feel more vibration with a target bow than you do a hunting bow in a review without the stabilizers. And generally a target bow will jump forward in your hand where a hunting bow will sit still. But I'm going to say I've loved shooting the Supras and I've owned lots of them, obviously. Never had a problem, and they're just the go-to bow. You know, they're priced well. They're priced well, they're not too heavy. They've always been a lighter target bow, so they've always had a bigger appeal to people. So basically anyone can buy them, ladies, kids. And so far this group looks really bad. And when I can say I can't see the arrows, they're out to the left and they're high. They don't look good. But the bow feels good to shoot. Like, I like the draw cycle. I like the feel of the bow. I like the grip. I like the way the bow feels. Now when I shoot the bow, I feel a fair bit of vibration when I shoot the bow. This thing got in my eye. Now there's a fair bit of wind, and so I'm shooting under cover to try and avoid the wind. Now when I shot these arrows with the Supra, I shot the EM Supra 40-inch. I shot really well. I think I shot 299 out of 300. I was pretty happy with it. And that was a national tournament. The EM's about 5 feet per second faster, I think. Look, they're feeling great. Now I know down the end they're not looking great. So it's not like I'm not trying. I am trying. It's just now, what I like about the Supra, it gives you feedback. So when you shoot a lot of the hunting bows, like the Envision I just did a review on, it's just beautiful to shoot. The Supra, when you feel it, it moves forward in your hand moves back. It's a lovely bow to shoot. It's especially for target. Like, you wouldn't want to shoot this for hunting, and PSE have made the Supra in the past as a long range hunting bow. But it's really a target bow, and it feels like a target bow. Like, the limbs haven't changed over all the time. And they just, I'm going to say bulletproof, but dry fire the bow and the thing will explode on you. And we had that discussion today actually in the shop. So I had a customer dry fire the bow, and he'll say he didn't dry fire, but anyway, cam folded over. Now I've actually dry fired my bow twice at 60 pounds, and we had a conversation about this in the shop. Hoyt have a thing to say they can dry fire their bows. Now I've seen Hoyt dry fire and the cam's all destroyed. Apparently when they do it, they use a computer to do it so the string doesn't oscillate left to right. So the string doesn't come off the cam system. Because when the string comes off the cam and it falls over the side, that's what makes the cam crush and fold over. So when I've when I've dry fired my bow twice, it's been fine both times, touch wood. And I think that's because I'm not overly torquing the bow, but if you apply torque, then the string jumps off the cam as you shoot, and it just is a bad thing. I'm going to say PSE have replaced them and fixed them up, and they don't need to. It's not covered by warranty, but they always have, and it's great because it saves me having arguments and having customer complaints. And I sold a PSE to my last customer of the day, and he said, what bow would you buy out of all the bows in the shop? And I said, well look, I said, I shoot PSE and you can see all the PSEs I've had. So I've never had a problem, but if you did, PSE there back you, and they don't have to, and they might not in the future, but at the moment, I ask and they tend to help me out. And I said, I can't ask any more than that. That if you have that arrow where things go wrong, they'll probably help you out. And it's a really good position to be in for me as a seller and for them as a customer, because otherwise they're going to get angry. And it's just not pleasant to have an archery shop and have customers angry with you. Last arrow. Look, I'm going to say the Supra RTX, I cannot pick any difference between this and the Supra than my light blue Supra, which is a 37-inch, same cam, slightly different yoke system. Look, I know these limbs are wider, it's meant to make you more accurate, but I can't feel it. I can't feel the difference. The grip feels the same. Everything feels the same. So when I was looking at, well, do I upgrade my bow to the new version? Because I've brought all the Supras in the past and I've got them all there and I've used them for different things, or maybe I use this, retire one of mine for something else and get the new version. The sticking point for me was the paint color. I wanted shiny silver or a shiny color. And the matte, as nice as it looks, and it does look good, it just wouldn't have matched the shiny red sights. Silly, isn't it? But that's just the way it is, and that's my thought process, because then I want a black side and then stuff doesn't fit. And most of my bows have all matching accessories. So, alright, let's go and have a look and see how these arrows are. Now, this is a Supra I shot for a couple of years. And we're going to have a shot with it. Now, I've been lending it to one of my staff to shoot. And you can see he's moved the draw stops forward. This is a 60 pound, you can see it's fully cracked down. So moving these draw stops forward, as he's got, reduces the let off so he doesn't get into so much of the valley. But to me, this bow looks so similar, and the machine is different. I think the machine looks better on the new Supra. But to me, this bow just is so similar to the old version, I'm struggling to see the difference. And even the draw cycle feels the same. I don't really notice the difference between the higher let off and the lower let off because the valley's quite small. The draw cycle feels identical. It's the same cam system, it's the same spec bow, same brace height, same axle. It's pretty much, so the draw cycle is identical. Look, he's been shooting this bow for almost a year, I'm going to guess, and I shot it for a couple of years. Thousands and thousands of arrows this had through, and I'm guessing these are the original strings on the bow. So they're probably 3 years old. Now sometimes you'll wear out strings quicker, it depends on your conditions and all that sort of stuff. But the bows feel the same. Like this has got a flexible cable guard, which is slightly off center, which is a bit weird. But it's pretty much the same. Okay, so I'm up here at the target. Now you can see my grip is not fantastic. In fact, it's pretty average. And you'll see my reviews, when I do reviews, it's pretty normal for my target bows to have pretty average groups. And I don't know if that's the balance of the bow that I'm getting slightly more movement, it's the weight of the bow, or it's just the hunting bows are just well balanced and they feel good to shoot. Because clearly I shot much better with the PSE Levitate 2 days ago in worse conditions because that was sheltered. And I'm going to say I much prefer shooting the Supra. I love the draw cycle, I much prefer the way the bow feels, except the group down the end here is not what I'm looking for. Now I would say that once I set it up for target with the stabilizers, I'm going to say the stabilizers, but the sight as well, the sight makes a difference, then that grip will come in and it will shoot beautiful. So summary of the 2022 PSE Supra. They made the limb pockets wider, added a lower stabilizer. Price is up fractionally, whether that's because of COVID or price shipping, whatever. Prices jumped a little bit on the Supra. Now I'm going to say it's an improvement of the Supra, which looks like a Hoyt Altus. There was nothing wrong with the Supra with the hybrid cam system. I think it was a bow ahead of its time. Obviously Hoyt thinks so too. I think the new bow is better than the old PSE as far as the old PSE, but I think it's so similar to the current ones, I'm struggling of why I would sell the old one to buy the new one. And the only reason I'm going to do that is because either I like the color, I like the wider limbs, I think that's an advantage, or I just like the machining. I don't think it's for shootability, because there's nothing wrong with the old Supras. They're just such a rock hard, dependable bow. I'm happy with them. So my summary again, I would have liked to see limb locking systems. I prefer shiny colors. I prefer matching string colors, as was the case with the blue Supra. But overall, I don't think you need a bow with the fancy cam adjustments, fancy limb adjustments. What's good about the PSE Supra, it's just simple. It just shoots. It's got a big brace height. It's a perfect target bow. It can sell to anyone, and it's backed by PSE. So if you have a problem, chances are they're going to look after you, because they want to look after their dealers. And if they look after their dealers, then their dealers say, well, if I have a problem, this company is going to look after me. So having said that, I think that the Supra will remain the top selling target bow for 2022. I can't see another target bow really getting close to it. But saying that, I can see myself buying the Citation. I like the shiny colors. Shoot through doesn't really faze me that it's better or not better. I think I prefer it feels a little bit cleaner in the shot, the Citation, and it's got the limb locking system, which I do like. I like the limb locking. It just gives me an added thing of certainty. The Citation is slightly heavier, so if you've got a thing with bow weight, that's an issue. But overall, I think the bow's a great bow. But I think for myself, I'll probably look at the Citation, which we're going to set up and see how well I shoot with it at a target, and see if I put all my Supras that I own in hibernation, or sell them, or whatever I do with them. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching. Bye.